What's good, everyone? My name is Kyle C, and I want to let you know a couple of things. Number one, I have some new episodes for you, but they will have to be pushed back one more week. They'll start next week, which also include a new episode of my story, which will be out after Labor Day. All right, so with that said, it brings me to my second point. Caravana weekend just wrapped up recently here in Toronto, and as most of the city prepares for the end of the summer, I'm still on a little bit of a high from that time. And thanks for everyone who attended our 15th anniversary of the annual Carnival Barbecue Party, which was sold out, and it was madness. If you weren't there and you missed out, please prepare yourself in advance for 2024. I'm just letting you know that right now. And riding off of that energy, the last episode of Memory Lane, I pulled out one of my favorite episodes from out the catalog, and I shared season 2 of The Stoop called The Adventures of Young Street. So because I'm still in that mode and I'm still in that gear, I'm going to share another episode from the last season of The Stoop that I did, which was right before COVID, towards the end of 2019. I believe it was in October 2019, where I was joined by the friend of the podcast, Michael Hyatt, and also rest in peace to my brother and South Shore Ave family member, Headley. We had a discussion about a legendary club that, for my generation, brought on a ton of memories. The episode was affectionately called Welcome to Atlantis, the club that was perched right above Lake Ontario. It was incredible, and I'll speak for myself here. We used to have incredible times there, especially Caravana weekend. Now, the club has since closed down, but because I'm still in that nostalgia club mode and I'm still vibing off the remnants of Caravana weekend, and it's Friday, Flashback Friday, if you still want to call it that now. I figured let's go back down memory lane just for a little bit, where everybody who used to attend was as hyped up as the Negro Avengers in Alabama, which again also happened Caravana weekend. That weekend just goes down in the books. Okay, let's get into it. But before we do that, South Shore Ave is available wherever you listen to podcasts. If you tune in on Stitcher, you have about 2 weeks left before it shuts down. So you can either check us out on my website at southshoreave.com. Once again, that's southshoreave.com. Or you can head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, and Alexa. You have choices. Whichever one you choose, make sure you subscribe to the shows. Hit that like button. And I also like my stars in 5s. Not 1, not 2, not 3s. 5s. Cincos. I like my Cincos. I love my Cincos. All right, so click on all of the Cincos. Please, por favor. That means click on the 5 stars, please. Thank you. Welcome to Memory Lane on South Shore Ave Radio. Let's head back to Atlantis right now.
First experience at Atlantis, I do not recall. But I do know that I never wanted to go anywhere else on a Saturday night during Caravana weekend, because that was probably the best recollection I have for that place, Atlantis. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. So one of the first memories I have of Atlantis was a Caravana Saturday, and just knew that, okay, there was going to be really good DJs there. And, they had their other DJs and whatnot, and I think the price is like $50-$60. I'm like, okay, this is the place to be. I go there with a couple of my brethren, and we're in line to get into the spot. And it was the steps leading up to it. And I believe everybody knows those steps are like the Spanish steps in Italy. There's like 100 of them with a little landing on every 15 or 20 steps up. Mm-hmm. It was so packed that my friend that I was there with, Big Mike McCaddy, he was 6'2", 250, solid muscle. It was so packed that he's like, yo, Mikey, look. And he literally took both of his feet off the step and was still being held up by how packed the lineup was just to get inside.
That's stupid.
He didn't fall. He didn't slip down. He just took his feet off the ground and had like his knees, like you remember from the movie Kid, I Have No Leg? Yeah. That's what he did. And didn't move. I said, oh my gosh, we need to hurry up and get in this place. And fast forward, we finally get in. probably about an hour in the lineup, and there was a vibe in the lineup that people weren't even getting mad. They were just happy to be there and know that they were going to get in at some point. So whether it was 2 hours down the line or whatever. They were just happy to get in.
So true. So true.
Oh my gosh. And then you get there, I mean, I know everybody has their stories, but you know, when you get there and you pass the first room because you pass the first room because you have to. You can't walk in. It's too packed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go upstairs to the right, and then there's like 3 more rooms, and those rooms are packed. Like, what's going on in here right now? Why is there 3 separate parties going on in one facility?
Yeah, that spot was crazy.
I mean, I got another story, but, you know, I don't want to hog the time because we all got our recollections of how special this event venue really is.
We'll save the second part of the discussion for the rotating dance floor. We'll hold off on that. Let's not comment on that yet. But Headley, tell your experience. What is your recollections? Your first experience at Atlantis? Like, what are your memories of it? Like your first memories of it?
Well, since you took away my go-to. But
well, I didn't take. I didn't take. I was gonna say I didn't take it away. I just postponed it just for 5 minutes. But go on.
Exactly. Like we all have a recollection of that part of the club. Like, come on.
Atlantis was pre Cabana, pre Cube on Sundays. This was pre really where the boat parties were really going. So going on in the city. So to me, to go into a venue, overlook the water like that.
Yeah.
When I was in Montreal, we had some parties where it was in old Montreal and it was a ferry and it would port and come back, right?
Yeah.
But for a club to have that fixture where it's right at the side of basically like the water like that.
Yeah, Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
Over
Lake
it, basically.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Yo, over it. Simply put, if you feeling a girl and a girl feeling you, and if you go outside to that waterfront and things not go on, she's not checking you. Like the scenery just make it like it's part of a movie or something like that. Just like the music the whole night, right?
True.
And then since we're not talking about the rotating dance floor just yet, but yo, they had a stairwell that went from one end to the next.
Yes.
It was literally like firing fish in a bucket. Cause you just basically got to see everybody. You know what I mean? Like there was no hiding. Like you saw them in the corners. I see you over. You know what I mean? I still remember one Cabana where there was this chick, like she was going to the bathroom, and we scoped her out.
Why do I remember this?
Yo, you remember that, Calvin?
I think I remember this actually. That just, oh my God! Tell the story. This sounds familiar. This sounds familiar.
Yo, we scoped her out, and it was to the point I was like, I was dodging people like grenades, like to get to this chick, and I literally, it's not one of those things like you see somebody 100 yards away, you're not really supposed to be able to find them in a club, but it was just so open, like there was no hiding spot. You can't hide from nobody in there.
That's true.
Yo, it was crazy. The scenery outside, and then obviously we're gonna get to the next part. It's like I had not seen a club 727 back home in Montreal, kind of like up high.
Oh, 737.
737.
Yeah,
we had that.
Yeah.
You had that kind of
spot too.
Yeah. You kind of had that more of kind of like a higher clientele type look. Like Atlantis had that, but it was so big. It was so big, you know what I mean? And where it was too, like that's primal real estate. You know what I mean? I was like, yo.
Which Mike should know about being a real estate agent? He should know about primal real estate. He should know
location.
Yeah, exactly.
You're by the water with unobstructed views. This is perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you go there and you check a girl and you buy her a drink and you chilling out there and she yeah, this is okay. This is great. Like, yo, she ain't feeling you, son.
Yeah, walk away.
No,
that alcohol and that scenery should be getting things kind of nice. But that was Atlantis, man.
first of all, was it 737?
737.
Yeah. I think I went there like once or twice because I was gone from Montreal by that point. But I used to.
Oh yeah, you were gone pretty early.
But when I used to come back, I think one of you guys, well, really Headley, but I think you guys took me to that spot one time. I think I remember going there for like New Year's or one of them coming back for Christmas. I remember it was just cold, so it had to be like the holidays or something. But yeah, that spot was nice. It was like on the top of the building, right?
Yeah, that's where the light that tells the planes that
Yes.
you don't want to be flying low. You don't want to be flying low because this is the center of the city.
Yes,
like
that's right.
It's like one of the tallest structures in the middle of the city.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I think you may have another. I think you may need another podcast for that one alone.
Yeah, no, Mikey, you're right. I think. Well, yeah. I mean, I only went to 737 maybe once or twice. I don't remember too much about it, but I just remember it was one of the nicer spots in Montreal to go to. That's all I remember.
737 was one of those joints like you had to go up like this huge elevator.
Yes.
And then once you went up this elevator, you're like, yo, where the hell? And it was just high up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Again, it was a nice like a scenic spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my first experience with Atlantis was only by word of mouth. Because Atlantis opened just around the time when I just moved to Toronto, or like shortly before that. And according to my brother, for those who don't know, that's DJ Chris Nice. John Sally was the first one to do a big party for the culture back then.
Wow!
Yeah, so this is when he was I think he was playing for the Raptors. That was the first season of the Raptors. So I think he was there for maybe like 2-3 months. They had a big party, and I think he was a host of it, whatever. So I used to hear all these stories about the club because but I never seen it because I was at the time I was mad young. I was still in high school, so.
Right.
So I've been to some other clubs during the time, but I never went to Atlantis, right? Because when you're a teenager taking the bus all over the place, it's not like it's not TTC accessible. You know what I mean? Let's put it that way.
No, it ain't.
If you didn't have a car, or you weren't getting a ride, or taking a cab, like you weren't going to Atlantis. Like that wasn't the spot that you pulled up to by the subway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't until a few years later on a caravan a Sunday that I finally had a chance to go, and
the parking lot was rich.
Oh man, the parking lot.
Dude.
Oh boy, yes.
Oof.
For those listening, this was back in the day when you wanted to get into any party that was worth its salt and weight, you had to dress up. You had to put on the hard bottoms.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to put on the slacks. Remember that shit? You had to put on a dress shirt. Some people might have rocked the suit, whatever, but either way, you had to look really good or you weren't getting in. Like, it ain't like today where anywhere you go, it's a style code. If you got good style, you're getting in. Like, back then, honestly, only the pro athletes and the doughboys got in like that. No one else.
Exactly.
So you get, and as you said before, Mikey, you get there, and there's a massive lineup as soon as you cross over the bridge, right? There's thousands of people. Everyone's looking fly. In the line, you're essentially parking lot pimping before the party even started. And,
hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even though it's at night, the whole atmosphere just outside is sick. Because you're looking at the club, you're looking at the water, everything. You're looking at the scenery, everything's crazy.
Yep.
Then you get past security, you get the pat down. Then you're walking down that runway. And
oh, Jesus.
That runway, man, like you're seeing the lake right on the left side. You're hearing, you're feeling the music. You know what I'm saying? You're following the eye candy. Just the anticipation, just to get into the spot is crazy. You know what I mean? And then you finally walk through those doors and you realize you're a long way from Motions.
What I said, Motion?
You're a long way from the Toonie Tuesday party at Motions. You're a long way from that.
Oh my God.
So back.
Gosh,
so
right.
yo.
As I said, that club gives you like just an artificial high on life. Just how that setup is. Like if you can't get something going with how that place was set up like that, then you're the problem. It's you.
You know what? And that's what I want to add, because everybody spoke about the scenery, and you're right. I forgot to mention. You're right. It's a beautiful thing. The runway, Cal, is an amazing thing to bring up. You're right. That walk over the water to get to the complex after you go up the stairs.
Yep.
But you know what? I'll take you even a step further backwards. You remember when you're walking up to the steps, you can literally walk by the yachts that are parked.
Yeah, that's right. That are parked alongside the lake.
That are parked alongside the water.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. That's
cleaning
right.
up their boats after they've been out the whole day, and they're waving at you, knowing that you're about to go party.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yo, you're so right. There is so much more to that place than just the party itself. There is a lot more to it. You're right. Think about it. Like we've all partied a lot of places on this part of the globe, on the other side of the globe, and you're right. I have yet to see anything like this.
Yeah. Like at the time, honestly, that was by far the most elegant looking club I've ever been to in my life. And,
yes.
And then on top of that, I know both y'all remember this, from the time you walked in, especially because being Caravana weekend, like that party was on full tilt. Like it was like the party was flattened already, and it's like 10 o'clock. It's like 10:30, and the party's out. The party's out of the party. Like the energy of the party's out at 11 already.
Yes.
And I remember a quick joke, just because I remember that first time at Atlantis. I think it was a Caravana Headley. Remember there was one year we stayed with Seti. We stayed with Seti and his peoples. And, we stayed by them for the weekend or whatever. Yeah, Seti and Steph and them guys and
it was the sister that we stayed at.
Yeah, I think so. So I remember one of Seti's cousins was there, and I was with him in line, right? So we're trying to do our thing in line and stuff, and then we walked in the spot. We walked through those front doors. All I remember, this dude went, "Yo, look at that!" Yo, I never saw him again until like 4 a.m. That was it. I never saw him again. The last time I saw him was we were back in the parking lot. Like I didn't see him again for the rest of the night. He was gone. Like he completely disappeared. Like he just vanished into the ether. That was it. It was gone. It was over. It was a wrap. I never saw him again.
That had a lot of small little crevice and corners. Where you could just lose yourself and get a little private time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of little crevices like that in that spot.
Oh no, absolutely.
Oh man,
absolutely.
You're so right.
And then we didn't even get to the part where on a nice day, especially the rooftop.
That's right.
The rooftop.
I forgot about that.
The rooftop was nice, man. The rooftop was
that's
nice.
What I was talking about.
Oh, that's the part that's like. Oh, okay, that's right. You were talking about that with the drinks and stuff. They're right. Like the rooftop was a joint, man. Like shit.
No. I was talking about the catwalk. I'm talking about when you go outside and you go out, as you said, you go outside and then you buy the water.
Yeah.
And you remember how they had like little? It was kind of like circular. They had all these little circular little. And I was like, yeah, man, dude. If you don't got no, if your game can't reach to this level with this type of scenery and stuff going on.
Oh man.
You know I equated to? I remember back in the day when I was home and you invite your little things over to your mama spot, and I used to put on I had my Jodeci CD. If I got to like track 5 and things still hit popping, it's just not my night.
Yeah.
Because
I heard you saying like you set a schedule for yourself and the itinerary.
You know what I mean? Like if the scenery, the little dim light, and you got that playing, and it still can't manifest. Like it's just not meant to be right now. And it kind of felt like that with Atlantis, like how that place was set up. Yo, if you're supposed to run into somebody and things are supposed to spark, if it's not gonna do it, if that place and that scenery ain't gonna do it, then
nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Not that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, it's so true. When it gets back to me, I got a very good story to explain exactly what you're talking about. Oh my god! Oh my god!
So you know what? Just on that note.
Wait. It's not radio friendly. We can't get into it.
Oh, we can get into it. Oh hell yeah! I'm telling it. Oh hell yeah! And it's a podcast.
I was about to say it's a podcast. Right? You can say whatever you damn well please.
Yo, the floor is yours, Mikey.
Huh?
Yeah, so
the floor is yours.
Yeah, actually, shit. Yeah, tell your story.
Okay, all right. So let's go. Let's say it's circa 2013. So I'm living in Toronto now, right? It is a Caravana. Let's let the public know that Atlantis was going on, even if it wasn't Caravana weekend. But
that's true.
Caravana weekend is where Atlantis was like, it was on a pinnacle. Like every promoter wanted to get that spot, whether it's the Saturday or the Sunday night.
Yeah.
In other words, that was the West Indian Super Bowl.
Ah,
the best way to put that. The West Indian Super Bowl.
Talk the things. You just not, right there. I love that. You need to copyright that, right?
I think I should.
Indian Super Bowl. Oh my God. Yo, so back at the West Indian Super Bowl, caravan around. I believe it's at 2012, 2013 flex.
Mm-hmm.
My boy comes in from Winnipeg. My boys are in from Montreal. I'm seeing this girl. It's a kind of a casual thing, but we're all gonna go out, right? So we get up there, and it's just like you said. Like, it's just beautiful walking up. The weather is great. It's Saturday night. The parade was great, and you're going to Atlantis. I think we may have bought our tickets at the door, so we spent like $80 to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew that it was gonna be worth it. So we got in, and we kind of like bypassed through lines, so we didn't have to wait through the craziness at the steps. And we get up there, we get a booth, and we're like 2 booths away from the dance floor. We haven't talked about the dance floor yet, so I am gonna say nothing on it. But when you walk into the room, it's just like what you guys were saying. At 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. This place is on full tilt. So we get our booth, and backstory, we finished a bottle of Grey Goose before we got there, just to let you know.
Mm.
So we get there now, we're like, okay, well, what are we going to buy? Because it's a 2-bottle minimum. So we buy a Grey Goose and we buy a rum. As we got checked in, there's a couple girls that, they were kind of like, they just got there, but they're not with anybody. You know how it is when the liquors hit you and you're in that vibe and you're there, you feel that energy, and let's just say your gift of gab is on full tilt at this point. So started talking to these girls, and they're like, "Oh, we're here with nobody," and da-da-da-da. So I'm like, "Okay, well, you know what? Come here with us." We got them in with us, and mind you, I picked these girls up, and I was walking in with this girl that I've been casually seeing. Oh yeah, these are my friends from Montreal. Oh yeah, no problem. We're all in the booth now. So there's 2 extra girls are there. The girl I'm seeing, we're all there, and the party's lit. It's Atlantis. It's what it is. The booth behind us, I see this girl that I'm like, you remember the story that you guys were just talking about, where like somebody said, "You see that?" and then you didn't see him for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Mikey did, but to the booth behind him. I said, this light skin thing, I don't know where, I don't remember her name. All I know is that this thing was beautiful. And I forgot everybody in the booth that I was with. And me and her are talking. So we're going back and forth, and I'm literally like topping this thing. She's there with dudes and other girls, and they're looking pissed, but it's just, I've got her locked in. So Headley, to what you were saying, yes, the game was on point. Till she says, "Yo, I think there's something wrong with your friend. He doesn't look okay." I turned back, and my boy from Montreal now, because we've been drinking a lot, it's a crazy night. He looks like he's teeter-tottering. But I'm like, nah, he's a big dude. He knows what he's doing. So I get back, and I talk to her. Literally, I was just brushing off because I wanted to talk to this girl, get her number while I could, because, they're preoccupying the girl that I originally came with. She literally pushed me towards him so I could see what's going on. When I looked back, my friend is literally falling like somebody called timber and dropped. The table that had the alcohol flipped up in the air.
Oh, wow.
The 2 girls that we brought into the booth with us got sprayed with the bottles, and one dropped on her foot because she was wearing sandals and almost broke and cut her foot open, and he dropped like a log. I said, "Oh my gosh."
You don't have to name
names. Is this the 6'2", 250 dude?
Pardon?
Is this this 6'2", 250 dude?
No. You do know this boy. You do know that my friend though.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to name drop.
Yeah.
Just going out to the public.
I don't want to remember that.
Damn it!
If he hears this, he'll know.
Oh,
he'll know who he is. So he dropped. But the funniest thing about it, it's like he blacked out for 30 seconds because he dropped, hit the ground, snored, jumped up, nothing happened. And I'm like, you good? And you want to see how fans are on their game. His first question to me was, yo, did that look bad? Did it look bad? Did it look bad? How bad did that look? Did it look bad? I literally had to give him a hug because I was so proud of him. Because that's the first thing he thought of. Did it look bad? Not did I break the glass or how the girl's doing or did we just waste the whole bottle of alcohol? He's like, yo, did it look bad?
He just wants to make sure that he's not starting from zero again.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. What a night. I mean, the night actually continued from there. Like, it just kept on elevating. So, I remember...
because I'm not going to talk smack about this club, but I'll just say there's an event that we all been talking about going to, right?
Yeah.
But then when I went and looked at the club it's at, I just don't like the club. Even though the party, the lineup, it looks like it's going to be a great party. But just because it's at that club,
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I just like it's turning me off a little bit. And the opposite end, that's what Atlantis was. Like sometimes I didn't even need to know what the party is, who the lineup was.
It's so true.
Nothing. Sure. If it was at Atlantis, that was good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If it was
right.
if it was a big party and you heard it was in Atlantis and it was even if it wasn't Caravana weekend, if it was a long
that's
weekend.
What I'm saying. It doesn't even,
it
has to be a big. It has to be a big party if it's Atlantis, first of all. Because
exactly.
If you're pulling out that club for your party, then you know what you're expecting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
it's so true.
On the opposite spectrum, where we talked about this that we're going to, it's at a club where I'm like, man, I just don't have I don't have good experiences or good vibes about the spot. Regardless of what the setup, it could be the exact same party that would be at Atlantis. Could be the same promoters, the same lineup, whatever. But the venue just makes that much of a difference.
And you're right about that, because that was one of the first venues where, honestly, you're right. It didn't matter who was spinning, it didn't matter who was promoting the party, it didn't matter who was there. As long as there was people there, the vibe was enough, because everybody brought that energy. Once they knew it was Atlantis,
it's true.
Especially back in the late '90s, early 2000s, like.
There wasn't too many parties that were at Atlantis, so you knew if it was at Atlantis, it was going to be. I've never been to a party at Atlantis. At least my experience where it was happening.
Yeah, like it wasn't popping.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah,
I could definitely attest to that as well. I've been to Atlantis more than a handful of times, and you're right. I've heard, there's a party at Atlantis, and you're right, I wouldn't even check the DJs. And I'm a person, we're all the same, where we want to know who's spinning so that we know that we're going to get good music. And when you hear Atlantis is the venue, you don't even care.
Yeah.
As long as they're playing hip hop.
They're putting up a pretty penny in rent to get that spot. So you know you better do it properly to make sure you get back your investment.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
You can't go into that half-ass.
So we got to talk about the rotating dance floor. So
okay, yes,
all right.
Yes.
So at the time, experiencing something like that, and I think me and you, Headley, we were talking about this maybe probably this week, but it felt futuristic. You know what it's like? It's almost like. It was so futuristic back then. It's almost like going back in time right now and giving somebody one of our smartphones. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like it would just like it wouldn't even make sense. And if I'm correct, like I was saying before, like the club opened around the time the Raptors first came to the city. So I can't imagine how that even felt back in '95. That must have been even more nuts. But the dance floor was a prime real estate. The rotating dance floor that would constantly just go in a circle, and it wasn't like a huge floor. But that was like the spot for everybody to go to. Like basically, it's one of those things.
Big enough, man.
You know, so I started off with Mikey. So I'll start off with you this time, Headley. Like, what was your first impression on seeing that floor for the first time and your experience with that? And I know I got some stories with you on that floor, but I'll get into my section after. You go ahead.
Well, as I said, I'm in my early 20s. So, at that point in time, I hadn't really got too much experience partying or different places and countries that I do now.
Yeah, that came
so
later.
Yeah, so for me to see that at that point, I'm like, where am I? Like, is this for real? And what I loved about it, to me, it was all strategizing too, because every time you go to a party, like I'm like, okay, let me do a little walkthrough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna do a little walk. Dude, I felt like there would be talk. I'll be just posted like on one of the sides, and like a merry-go-round. I'm just standing there. I'm like, okay, I don't even gotta go nowhere. And it's like fishing about. You're just like, you can't go nowhere. You can't hide nowhere. So I was just in awe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, yo, I just never seen anything like this. I would even one thing to not. I've never seen that at that time, but I never even fathomed that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the concept of it. It just was just like, I was like, wow, man.
So just because of, like, again, older siblings, older brothers, I heard about the rotating dance floor, but again, obviously it was just a myth at that time, right? So just experiencing that from the first time, like, first just the lineup just to get on the dance floor was crazy, because it's almost like, like you just wanted to be a part of it. Like it's like you couldn't leave there without having not been on there at least once. It's like going to Niagara and not seeing the falls. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to Miami and never going to South Beach at least one time. But the first experience I had with it was incredible, just because I don't know if you guys remember this. So you get actually, I shouldn't say that to be true, because I'm pretty sure you guys do remember this. But like, if you saw something that you're interested in on the floor, do you remember cutting the angles on the dance floor as I was rotating just to get to that person?
Oh, yes.
Because that honestly was almost as fun as just being on the dance floor partying. Like sometimes you would see something on the dance floor and you're like, oh shit, like she's on the other side, and you would just work your angles and cut the floor. It was almost like, and especially with this guy, especially with Headley back in the day, it was like, I kind of equated to like being like two middle linebackers on a defense getting ready to blitz the quarterback. Like that's how you kind of felt. You're calling out. You
plan your spin move.
Yeah, you're calling it out. You're like, yo, Headley, bodysuit, Maya, 36, 44, 42, 42, 42.
I used to watch Calvin's eyes. I'd be like, what you looking at, dude? What you looking at over there? I see you like your eyes focus on something.
Oh my gosh.
Yo.
That's exactly that was exactly me and my brethren that same day where my friend decided to say, hey, yo, look, I can do no legs on the stairs. It was the same thing that we were doing. Like, I swear to God.
But
you see the thing?
With the rotating floor, like, you even have to, like, you saw something, you're like, yo, I'm just gonna wait for the floor to come back. Or I'll go walking in the opposite direction, knowing that you're gonna hit back with them.
Oh,
like, they couldn't get away. They couldn't get away.
Yo, I remember I chopped the thing that she passed by and we caught eyes, and like I started to walk around the dance floor with her, and I'm like, you know what, it's a little bit too much time. I'm gonna see you when you come back around. And she stayed in the same spot and came back around, and so I freaking said, can you help me up so I can talk to you so I don't have to chase you? And she put her hand out, and then we started chopping it up as this thing started going around.
The joint's like speed dating, man. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
That over there.
It was speed dating before speed dating ever came around.
Sometimes you would see something and say, for example, you'd see something and you can't get there, and like you just look at Headley on the other side and he would be like, okay, like it's almost like you're working in sync. You would just be like, I got it. I got it.
I got you this one?
Got it this one. And then you would cut the angles and then bam. And then he would be gone. Like he wouldn't even wait. He would just, as soon as you got close enough to him, he'd be like, boom, here you go. Then he's gone. I'm telling you, man, that shit was, the rotating dance floor was that was a thing. But like I said, that part of it, like just the cutting the angles and that kind of part of it, seeing something and you step off on the ledge and you wait for it to come back and then boom, you jump in. Like that stuff was fun. That stuff.
On a side note, like Calvin and some of the other boys, like this is all separate to the dance floor. We used to have this thing called commissions. So anytime like if you chop somebody and she's with a bunch of girls, with her girlfriends, she got some girlfriends that look nice and all that stuff. If we wouldn't even bother waste time in talking with the girlfriends. We'll go and deal with the next set and be like, all right, commission. Just make sure whoever you get down the line, if it's the next day or whatever, just link everybody else afterwards. You know what I mean? Just make sure that we got
so true.
So everybody sees who we need to see, and go work on the next set.
It's so
like
true.
It was straight tag team, man.
It's so true. You didn't. I totally forgot about that. As soon as you saw Headley with the thing, you're just like.
That's all we said. We just look at each other. We go, commission. He's like, yeah. All right. I'll see you later. Let me work on something else. So that group of 5 is like one person.
That group of 5. That means that you guys got that locked down. So go get a next group.
Exactly.
So,
I love that.
Exactly. Then we'll have a conversation like a few days later. Yo, remember the one in pink? All right. Yeah. Well, she was looking at he, and he looking at she. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Set that joint up.
Also, a very quick story to add to that. So Headley was living in the States at the time. He was going to school in the States, and he came back in town. And at this time, I was kind of starting to date somebody, and she had a bunch of friends. We went to her birthday party.
Oh man!
And this guy's beside himself. And I remember I was like, Headley, I was like, don't do anything, just trust me, just don't do anything, just relax. Just don't do anything. And he's like, Calvin, he's like, oh my God. He's beside himself. He's like, okay, I trust you. Yo, the next day, I didn't even have to, she called me, my girlfriend at the time. She called me. She was like, okay, this one likes Headley. This one likes Headley. That other one likes your boy. This one so there was about 3 or 4 right off the top. And I think it was me that was like kind of narrowed it down. Like, okay, this one would be good for Headley. Like that's
wow.
It was straight like I was like a pit bull like on a chain, and Calvin was like, yo, don't take him off that chain. Like he's gonna bite somebody, he's gonna bite the wrong person. We have to just calm down. It's gonna come to you.
Oh boy.
That's just an example, commission.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's another podcast. Yo, bro, you have a lot of podcasts to go through. I'm telling you right now. Because that's another one. Because I'd love to be a part of that. Well, also, we didn't call it no commissions, but yo.
It's so true. It's so
true. My God.
But that rotating dance floor is kind of how that started, though. And that's kind of how it started, crazy. Essentially, right? Just because, you're just working in pairs after a while. You're like, and the funny thing is, thing is, Mikey, like, especially on certain weekends, you were getting worked like that. Sometimes you were getting worked like that. Sometimes you look up and it's like, oh, okay, I don't know what's happening here, but I'm not stopping this. You know what I mean? Like you would get worked that way. Like you'd be dancing and trying to cut angles, and somebody would cut you off. Like you get cut off.
This goes back to those Friday nights where you'd be on the block, because that was around those times where the women were way more aggressive than men were.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the Young Street podcast. I remember we were talking about
something
similar to that. Yeah.
Yes.
So it was that same energy.
That time frame, you're right. At Atlantis or any other club, they're grouping up to be like, okay, so where are your friends at?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember we used to joke where like you got a set of people that you're talking with or whatever, and after a time it'll get dry, and me and Cal would be like, yo, we'll go out. We'd be like, yo, I need to get another starting 5. And it was like you go out one weekend and like you've just replenished the whole roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You had some people that was either got traded or they got demoted or whatever the case may be. You needed to fill a new roster. You go out one weekend and it was like getting that energy bar, like play Super Mario and getting that mushroom.
Get the mushroom.
Everything's back intact.
As we're going down this road of kind of like, because part of this podcast is about talking about Atlantis, but part of it is just kind of going down memory lane about those particular days, especially with the club scene. So to think back on those days, what would have been your top clubs in Toronto back then? Because, everybody has that time period. Everybody has that time period that's good for them and for us. I like to say for us, it was late 90s to mid 2000s was a great time for us in the party scene. So like, I'm not saying to rank them. But just clubs in this city, in Toronto. You could even add Montreal a little bit just because they're Montrealers. But like, what would have been your top clubs just on that vibe of Atlantis? Like, you know what I mean? That kind of relates to it a little bit.
Well, I'll give you the one. Cashmere was my joint.
Yo, Headley, go let me slap you in your face from over across where I'm at right now.
You know what's so funny though? With Cashmere, there was this bartender. Kevin, we still talk about this bartender like it was yesterday.
That's right. Yeah, I remember this.
Bartender, and she was in this black cat suit where you couldn't hide. You couldn't hide no rolls in it. And this girl's body was just straight stupid.
Oh my gosh.
I still remember like it was yesterday. And the joke is, Magic, right? He used to bounce there, but we didn't know him then.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
How I wish I would have known that guy then. The amount of times I could have saved myself in that cold, try to get into that club, or just the grease to get in there sooner, because that place was like it was a spot at one point. And then one other spot I was going to mention is a spot I never went to. And I was telling Calvin, because when I was going to school in Chicago, Club Meow. Every time
heard of that spot too.
It was either always like on a long weekend, so like that long weekend Sunday, Meow would always be popping. I'd be driving back to Chicago for school, so every time I'd get back to school, I'm talking to my boys back to Toronto, like, Meow, oh my God. Oh, yeah, this is happening like every single time. And the thing is, Meow was like, it seemed like it was in and out. Like, as quickly as it was in, it was gone.
Yeah,
like,
it was for like maybe about a 2-year period tops.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that time was when I never, the whole time I was in school there, I never got to experience Meow. But to me, it's always this mythical, like, it's almost like, it was like Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like, it was this myth. I don't know. I knew it was in Lakeshore. I don't know where the actual spot is. Like, I've never. But Meow was always one of those things where I felt like I was always right around the corner of something big happening, and I always just missed it.
Yeah, Meow was fire. Meow was fire because that was around. That was for me especially. That was right around university days, and that was everybody used to go there. That was like. Yeah, that spot was tight because basically like all the NBA players and stuff used to go there after a while. Like that it ended up becoming like the spot at one point, man. That spot was precious. I don't know how you ended up missing all of those because I went so much times to that, man, and that but
every single one was a fire party from everybody's recollection. After everybody's telling me like I missed the jam, and then by the time. I was like, all right, I'm back. I can actually hit a spot because I didn't have to worry about going back. It was done. It came and gone.
The places for me, I got 2 in Montreal and 1 out here. So the 1 out here is Life.
Life.
Yes.
Which one was Life again? That was on, what street was that on again?
I think it was on Richmond, if I'm not mistaken.
On which street, sorry?
It's either on Richmond or Adelaide.
Okay. Oh, Life. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's because freaking Headley stole mine because I was going to say Cashmere too. Cashmere, I remember we used to leave Montreal to come to Cashmere for a Thursday night and go back home after. That's how nice Cashmere was. Wow. So I'm really with Headley saying Cashmere because it was the freaking, I'm telling you, mine would leave Montreal, go down for Thursday night and leave back on Friday afternoon just to go to Cashmere on a Thursday night.
Yeah, Cashmere was nice too.
Cashmere, it was the shit. Now, the 2 places that I want to mention in Montreal, 1, Group Society.
Okay.
And number 2, really for the ambiance to even equate it to Atlantis.
Go ahead.
Delray.
Yes, thank you.
Yo. Not only wait, is Delray the one that used to be like in where Peel subway station is now?
I think so.
It used to be a department store.
Yes, and it had
upstairs.
And Delray had the big stairwell to go upstairs.
Yes.
Glass stairwell going upstairs.
Yes.
3 floors.
Delray was my spot. Like in CJUP, last year CJUP, first year university, Delray on a Friday, Saturday, it was.
Oh my God!
You just went to Delray. was my number one spot, yo. And they had the pool tables on top too.
Yep.
Yep.
It was Grown and Sexy before Grown and Sexy actually became a thing.
Exactly.
So true.
You're right.
So true.
Right.
And you know what? Why I remember Delray's, like, it's that one is vivid in my mind too, because that summer was the first, because you know how clubs were in Montreal. As soon as they came in, as fast as they went. No,
for sure.
No club lasted longer than like a year or two max. Because by the time I would come back the following year to come and party and hang out, we were going to a new club because that other club was done. It was like, what happened to Delray's?
Exactly.
A fight broke that up. I had just moved to Toronto, and I remember after that first semester of school, whatever, because I finished the last half of semester, and then I basically spent the summer. I came back home and I spent the summer in Montreal. So that was the summer when Delray's was popping. That's when everybody was going to Delray's. So I actually caught that. You know what I
mean? So you were in the midst of, oh my god.
Yeah, I caught Delray's.
Delray would pop right now if Delray was up.
Oh yeah.
And true, because it was a boutique, like the way that the clubs are now, it's a boutique size. They got 200-300 people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's elegant. They got bottle service. Like you're right. Like, all that stuff was kind of before its time. And I guess because it was a department store, as you were saying before, like a nice department store, it kind of kept the ambiance nice. It wasn't run down or anything like that.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, you had to dress up to go to that spot. I remember that.
Oh yeah. You're wearing a button up. You got to wear slacks. There's no way you're like, you know what I mean? Getting in there with jeans and a hat and you actually have to wear dress up.
So the longest while you had to like dress up.
Yeah, I used to hate Montreal for that after a while.
Yeah.
So I remember I had friends that you always had an extra pair of shoes because they'll try to come with some dressy sneaker and you'd have to have an extra pair of shoes just in case.
Yep.
That was to be playing funny on you so you can go back and change quick.
Yeah. I remember that.
Or man would try to wear their jeans knowing that they had a pair of khakis in the car.
Just in case.
Just in case. And you get turned back, you got to go put on the khakis.
Go in the alleyway and change.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going back home for you.
Nobody's. You're going to be the one man in the car or at Belle Provence eating by yourself. Or no, sorry. You're going to be at Burger King eating until everybody is done.
Or Kojak's, that's right.
Or Kojak.
Oh, Jesus. Captain, don't let me slap you right now.
Oh, man. Everybody in Toronto is going to be like, yo, what's this about, man?
You know?
Listen, if we ever brought a Kojak out here, I tell you, all those other Greek restaurants will never have people in there again.
Yeah, man.
That Kojak sauce, come on now. You guys don't know. You know. That Kojak sauce, there's something in it. I think it's crack. But,
yeah, I think they're definitely sprinkling nicotine in it at 3 in the morning.
Something, bro. Something, man.
They're definitely doing that. Sorry, another club I want to mention. I want to bring it back down to 401. But we're forgetting government because government, before it shut down.
Listen, I
government
think
was nice.
You need to have a freaking podcast for that by itself.
Yeah, because that was a warehouse. What was the club? What was the club adjacent to government that had the rooftop joint there?
Oh no, that was the grounds. That was the Sky Bar.
Yeah, that's still government.
That's still government.
That whole complex was government. Orange Room,
yeah.
Government,
Orange Room, yeah.
Warehouse, Sky Bar, and then there's another part to it.
Yeah.
They had 5 parts or 6.
Yeah. And then they would open everything up, like on the on
Caravana weekends.
Yeah, they'd open everything up. Yeah,
I remember
that spot was nice. That spot was nice too.
Oh man!
And I remember the parking lot pimp. Yo, dude, Calvin, remember the time when you left Scarborough just the parking lot pimp?
Yeah, I remember.
You left it like where did we go? Was it the government?
It was usually government. Yeah, it was usually.
Oh yeah,
we left our house at 2:30 in the morning just to go parking lot pimp.
Oh yeah,
because government.
Oh yeah,
it was a sea of people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Me and my Virgin Beware went to Glow because Glow used to be at government. All white Juve.
That's right. Yeah.
Jesus Murphy. When you see a sea of white clothes walking into one area, and the joke is, there must have been thousands of people, and then you look around the corner and you see people just dressed up going to The other club.
The other side, yeah. Headley, you took my Cashmere too, because Cashmere was Cashmere.
You know what I'm saying?
Headley's
Headley's so nasty right now.
Yeah, man.
Cashmere was popping.
We can all agree Cashmere was.
Yeah, Cashmere was popping. Music was also another spot that was nice too.
Yeah.
And then you gotta pay respect to the Strip, the Richmond Strip, because there used to be so much spots that you can go to, especially like on a long weekend. If you weren't sure exactly where to go, just walk on Richmond. You'll figure something out.
Yeah, wasn't like Fluid?
Oh yeah, Fluid. Yep.
Richmond and,
oh my God.
Fluid.
They had a whole bunch of little clubs.
Fluid.
All around.
Money.
Yeah.
Venus. G-Spot.
Which was City as well.
Yeah.
Like right
Republic.
Yo, there was Oxygen too. The O? Was it O?
Yes,
Oxygen was right on the corner of John and Richmond. Remember they and it had you had to walk up the stairs and it had like the patio. They used to open
that
on the
was
street. Yeah, that was nice too.
Yeah.
That was nice too.
Oh, hold on. I have to add one more for Montreal. After our spot, Sona.
I never went there.
Yo, you know I never been to Sona, dude?
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Never went to it. Never went to it.
Shame on you both.
Yeah. I know I missed on that one.
Yeah, my bad.
I can't lie. You know what? It took me a while to finally get out there myself because you know what it was? You know, with Caribbean parents and they understood going out from 12 till 3 or 11 till 3. But going out from 3 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the morning,
yeah, exactly.
It's a kind of different thing you have to explain to these parents of ours. Real talk. So, you know, like, I can't lie. I didn't go to Sona until I was, like, you know, good, like, CJEP, almost university age. But I'm telling you, Sona was like Studio 54 in a sense where it was like a round oval shape where the security guards would walk around, look you up and down, and pick you to come in or not.
Yeah.
I believe. Yo, Group Society used to be like that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yes, Group Society was like that a bit, but not as bad. Sona was really bad. I can't lie. It was really, really bad. And I don't know, one day we went out and it was like and if you were a guy, if you're a man them and it was a group of you, good luck.
Yeah, you weren't getting in.
And you're never getting in. But I don't know, maybe the security guard was a female one of the female security guards. She was a hot French thing, boy. Oh God, boy. I don't know what I did, you know, my dark skin, you know, freaking chubby face, gave her a one look, and she's like, yeah, who are you with? And I said, these 3 guys. She's like, yeah, you could come in and bring them too. I was like, hi. And got patted down, like literally, this was like, we literally got up to the line and I was like, wow. And from that day on, she never forgot my face. So I could go there with anybody.
There was a club it didn't last too long. There was a club on, like, I think it was at the corner of Saint Denis and René Lévesque in, like, East Montreal.
Okay, when was it, like, popping? What night?
I can't remember what night it was popping on. But you had to go upstairs. It was big, but it didn't last. It wasn't. It was like it had one hot summer, and that.
Oh, it was the ice cream Sunday club, right?
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
Ice cream Sunday, exactly.
It was the ice cream Sunday event because they moved it there. They moved it there for one summer,
what was the name of that place?
You know what's funny? I really don't remember. But all I remember is there was you guys remember the store Rossi? This discounted store in Montreal called Rossi?
I think so, yeah.
So Rossi's was literally either across the street or like attached to it somehow. And this club, I forget what it's called. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, Ice Cream Sunday, man.
It was an Ice Cream Sunday event. Calvin?
Pop it all the time.
Really?
Sunday night, it was like maybe like $8, under $10 to get in, until 12 o'clock at night or 12:30, $2.50 drinks.
Wow,
crazy. Talking about like that was a Sunday jam. Remember the club? It was a Thursday night club. It was on de Maisonneuve Street, same street as Concordia, but like de Maisonneuve and Peel.
Vangos.
That's it, Vangos. Thursday night at Van Goghs.
Oh my God.
Yo, I can't remember the names, but I know locations and days. Yeah, Van Goghs, yo.
Van Goghs.
Oh,
It was
Van
a Thursday,
Goghs.
and
Oh,
I
yeah,
went.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, Calvin.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah,
Van
yeah,
Goghs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know Van Goghs.
Yeah.
This is like before '99. This is like '95 to 99.
Yeah, we aging ourselves now with this one. Man.
I know.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I know. We are definitely. No, you know what though?
Late 90s.
You know what? You're right. We are aging ourselves, but Toronto needs to understand. We were going out since we were like 15 years old.
Yeah, because that was Montreal. They wasn't know about.
Yeah, remember Montreal?
I came to Toronto. They were like ideas like ID.
Exactly.
I never checked ID.
Never checked ID. You know what? It's like if you had half of a mustache, you were walking in that
You're
club.
walking in, yeah. Or even a certain height, because I had a baby face back then. But because I was 6'3", I get in. I never got stopped to go nowhere.
Never got carded. Never got stopped.
And the joke is, at Van Goghs, around, like you see where Van Goghs was at Peel in the Maisonneuve. The next, around the block, there used to be a Haitian club where you had to go downstairs. It was like almost kind of like Motions where you go downstairs, but this was like almost like you're going down like 3 sets of. But this was a Haitian club, and it was right behind Van Goghs, and that used to hit, yo. That used to hit hard.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the name of the club was, but
that's a throwback name if I ever heard one. Van Goghs.
Yo, I'm telling you, man.
That is
and the thing about it,
name.
so Van Goghs was like your meow, where you had. I remember being in line at Van Goghs and seeing Barry Bonds in line, and seeing Pedro Martinez
because of the expos. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly, when the expos were like in their heyday before the freaking the strike that messed up our whole season, that gave Toronto their world championship back to back.
And that I promise will be its own podcast soon.
Please,
the Montreal
yeah,
strike.
You know what? Yeah, exactly.
I need to vent on that one.
Yeah, that one hurt. But you know what?
That one hurt.
But another one I want to throw out is Vince Carter used to have one that wasn't too bad. It was Inside Lounge. Inside Lounge was popping too for a while.
Yes,
that was on Richmond Street too. Yeah, that was Vince. I think he was one of the owners. But yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, it's been the Vince Carter effect actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to go to that. Like we used to go to that too.
Yeah.
We used to go to that too.
Oh man.
All right, so just to I guess to kind of slow this down and kind of wrap up. Final takeaways from Club Atlantis. Do you think there'll ever be something like this in the city again?
Never. Let me just say never. In this day and age, you can't even see a skyline in Toronto no more. Any prime piece of real estate, and Mike can attest to this.
Yep.
It's going to be picked up with developers. You're not going to get those, like, same way how we talked about H2O and Dream in DC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those big 2,000, 5,000 type venues for clubs, it's not gonna hit no more, because they're gonna use that land is too valuable now, and they're gonna use that for construction or for condominiums or some type of home ownership.
Or Google headquarters or something.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like those big venue clubs, I don't see that ever coming back. Because first of all, there's only so much, you can't create more land. You know what I mean? Sure. Actually, the only thing that seems comparable to that right now that's still popping is the club that's on the CN land over there, the CNE land. What's that club called again?
Is it music? Well, they're still Rebel.
Oh, Eglinton Grand and all that stuff. Yeah.
And they're still Rebel and stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you still have some of those like that are out there, but I feel like in a whole where that, call it that genre of those big venue type clubs, they're more being extinct now. You might have a few that's out there, but for that to grow back where more of them will pop, it's either the ones that are out there have been there for years. You're not going to have any new construction where they're going to make a new construction to be a big time club. That's not happening.
Yeah. I agree with Headley on that. It's true. Like, I mean, Atlantis, they still haven't done anything with it. I think they're still trying to figure out what they can actually build because the land itself, it's not a really big parcel of land. But to keep Atlantis because if you've ever seen Atlantis, like as much as we love this place, if you've ever seen Atlantis during the day, it's a piece of crap. Like there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's rusting. Yo, it's on stilts and the legs are rusting bad. Like it needs major overhaul.
It needs upkeep.
Yes, it does.
I thought Calvin, you saying that they're doing like wedding receptions.
I think they were.
Yeah,
they were. But
they were, and they were doing corporate events there as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so, I don't think I've ever seen that place in the daytime.
I have, and it was actually by fluke. So that's why I could tell you how bad it looks during the day. At nighttime, it's beautiful, but during the day, it's horrendous. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe I was actually standing on this.
It's funny. It's like you see a chicken and you wake up and like, oh my god. That's not.
You that's not like, who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah,
that or that's like going to one of those like restaurants at like 3 a.m. and then you try to go again like maybe like 12 hours later and the food just is not the same.
That reminds me of Big Slice. Big Slice is like that was the best place to go after the club. You got this big ass slice of pizza, but it's like I remember I went back during the day to see if it tastes that good when you're sober.
And no, it does not.
And no, it does not. You start to taste how freaking commercial pizza sauce they were using. Like this was no fresh. It was straight out the can, most ketchup. But it was like, but you're getting this big ass slice of pizza when you're drunk after a night of clubbing. Oh, you're just like, yeah, I feel great, and it looks good.
It's like eating filet mignon, basically, at that point.
Exactly.
The joke is you're the one that introduced me to Big Slice.
Who, me?
No, it was Mikey.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, Mikey. Big Slice that was on Young Street, right?
Yeah. Right by Young and Gerard.
Yeah, that was Mikey's spot. Like, yo, let's go to Big Slice. All right, let's go.
True.
You're just trying to have something to suck up the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to get some food in your belly because you've been drinking all night. You know what I mean?
There are some high-end spots now that are that are popping up in the city, and I would like to say that there's a decent chance of that happening, but just the way the city's growing, I like to think eventually it might happen, but it won't be on the lakeshore, and that's the problem, right? Because being able to see the views and the whole ambiance, partying over the lake, especially in the summertime and especially on the rooftop, that experience was amazing. And the way the city's kind of pushing the club scene out of the downtown core, the chances of that happening again, honestly, I that's where I kind of have to agree with you, at least, that it's really slim. It's slim to none.
Yeah. No, but you know what's really big? You know what I mean? They have a lot of these like private club type clubs where obviously, you know, it's like wink wink, little membership type joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's little speakeasies coming back up to existence now.
Right.
Which one?
Like speak. Remember, like in during the Prohibition days, they would have these clubs called speakeasies.
Yeah.
You'd be in the back of like a restaurant or in the underground. Like I'm finding out there's a lot of those out here.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. There's those type of stuff that's happening. I remember when I was in DC. I went to a couple like that, and it's like, I still remember one of the spots. Yeah, you said like it's so unassuming. You'd walk by that and not even expect.
Not even know. Yeah.
You have no idea. You have no idea. You have no idea. And a lot of that stuff is what's popping up.
Or like the boutique kind of clubs where it's like, 200-300 people are really focusing on bottle service. So it's a different way to club now, which is fine, you know what I mean? But because again, like the club scene now isn't like, even though we still rep it, and especially for our generation, our age group, we'll still rep it. But I mean, the overall club scene isn't really pushed for us, you know what I mean, at this point, which is fine. But like, like I said again, I don't know if something like Atlantis is gonna happen again, just because again, the overlooking the whole lakeshore atmosphere and everything else, especially on as you said, on the lakeshore, and as a real estate. Somebody who deals with real estate, like the way the city is now, like some of the biggest parties, especially for our culture, all the biggest parties essentially, especially the black parties in such a diverse city, is somehow getting pushed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which is
that's why
that's almost another podcast in itself now. But You know, it's
Yep.
but you know that's not a coincidence. I just find that like it's interesting to see some of the biggest parties you see. You got to go to Mississauga, you got to go to Oakville, you got to go to Ajax, you got to go to Markham. You know what I mean? You're like, yo, what happened to going downtown and being among like 1,000 of your peoples and just having a good time and partying? Like that doesn't happen anymore in this city. Like it's weird. You know,
Yep, it is, man.
But you're seeing it. Like you're honestly seeing a lot of that happening, and I'm not crazy about that either. But like I said, that's his own separate topic at separate podcasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One day I may explore. But to answer my own question, I don't see it happening that way. Especially the way we were breaking it down in the beginning in terms of the whole ambiance, the whole feel. Didn't matter who was doing the party there. Like it just carried its own energy, its own weight. It's tough to match that.
Yeah, it's true.
And not to say you can't have a good time anywhere else, because we do, but it's just there was something different about Atlantis. Like I said, if I know for me, that was something that I never really experienced in the city before. And until like you started traveling and going other places and you started seeing other spots. But Atlantis was the first one that kind of opened my eyes to like everything. Where you're just like, yo, like what the hell? We could party like this, like that. It opened my eyes up.
Yep, definitely. You realize how much of a big city you're in.
Oh, absolutely.
You have that type of attraction. You're like, wow, like we've got a rotating dance floor. We've got a club with like 3 rooms overlooking the water on at a 360 degree.
And the vibe was great. Vibe was great. It was every time. It was always a great vibe. It was always a great vibe. Always a great vibe. But listen, fellas, man. Hey, thank you for coming down memory lane right now and reminiscing about the days of Atlantis, man. Like that was fun.
Yeah, man. You know what? Honestly, man, thank you for putting this together, because this has been a great topic to talk about. Like, and the thing about it, because it's still there, it actually still gives you some hope that something could get figured out.
Yeah.
Because it is a great venue. You could do so much. That place is so big. People can have corporate events, do their weddings, prom events, and yes, the one-off parties, like you know what I mean, like on long weekends,
I swear they
still be eventful.
They still did something there for Caravana this year at Atlantis.
Oh, did they?
You said,
I didn't know that.
And you know what's funny? Sorry, just to add to that really quick, what you're saying. The Caravana Saturdays, it's funny because a lot of times you'd see a lot of. Number one, it was directed to our age group for sure, and you saw a lot of out of towners. You saw a lot of Montrealers. You saw a lot of Americans. But I think part of that too is because of the charm of how it used to be like back in the day. So when you coming in from out of town and hearing like, yo, Atlantis is going on, you just buying tickets. Like you're not even thinking twice about it. You know what I mean? And I don't blame people for doing that. I honestly don't, because it was such a good time back in those days. Like why not? You know what I mean? Why not go back to that, especially when you're not living in the city?
But I agree with Mike. He says like on a long weekend, like this Thanksgiving week, like you don't hear anything really coming out of Atlantis anymore. Unless it's Caravana weekend, you don't hear anything coming out of there.
Yeah, it's a shame. So at this time, I'm gonna pour out a little bit of water. I'm not drinking liquor right now at this exact moment. I'm gonna pour out a little H2O in the sink.
I got you. I'll pour out a little honey for you.
I'm gonna pour out a little H2O for Atlantis.
Definitely.
I salute you. I salute you, Atlantis. I salute you. Good times.